welcome to our Speaker Standout Stars, hosted by Toni Kaufman, and I'm your co host, Blanca. So, we're meeting an amazing speaker today. Toni, tell us about her.
Hi. Well, Patricia and I spent, Dr. Patricia and I spent some time yesterday getting to know each other really well, and I'm really excited to bring her. She is not only a true, God, it was before the women's lib movement, it was before all the craziness. I mean, she is a true generational icon. Patricia was one of the first three women to achieve the role of doctor in the university that she was in. She's been a mother and took care of her siblings. She was the one child in the family that took care of everybody, even at the age of 5. So Patricia has such a rich and wonderful background. I wanted you to introduce her because she's created something called the butterfly method. And Patricia, I don't want to steal your thunder. Let's talk about you and what you've done.
Oh, well, just one slight change. There were three people in 100 accepted into medical school, so but
Wow.
that's a minor change.
Yeah, but you were one of the first women to ever be allowed.
Not in my medical school, but across the
Yeah,
across the United States. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
exactly.
So, tell us, what is the butterfly method?
The butterfly method is a way of going from distress to hope in the time it takes to go to the bathroom. I'm getting a lot of echo and it's bothering me.
I'm not hearing anything. Just keep going. You're doing great.
Okay. Um, it basically, I have a suicidal history, both personal and with family, and I needed a way to keep people alive, including myself. And by using multiple modalities that were in here, I, I've created the butterfly method. It takes people from distress, which is like a caterpillar. And with me, I felt like my value was to be turned into fertilizer into a cocoon, which was the bathroom, to come out with hope, which is butterfly.
That is so important because mental health, mindset. I mean, this method could save a life. It could help people really change their whole perspective. And you yourself use this method?
I use it regularly to this day. Yes,
Is that what you'll be discussing in your speech?
yes,
Amazing, amazing.
yes. It's um, basically before I had it developed, I was hospitalized 4 times in about 12 years to save my life. And I developed, this has been in effect for over 20 years, zero hospitalizations. And all my patients I've taught it to have used it effectively. And again, zero suicides in my professional career.
And I love what you're doing, Patricia, because this is it's a scary topic, but it's very relevant to what's happening today. I mean, since the
Absolutely.
pandemic started, that we've seen a severe uptick in the amount of people not only who are actually committing suicide, but are thinking of it as well,
Correct.
because they've never felt so lonely.
And this comes in at the point of thinking of it. When they're actually ready to action, they need a hotline.
No,
And
that's
I
true.
want to make sure people know that this is at the idea state is where it goes into effect.
Well, and the book that you held up a minute ago is kind of your it's your ingredients, it's your steps to go from where you are to where you need to be. But it's a very cool way of looking at doing some exercises, doing some homework
Right.
that gets you grounded back over to the positive side.
And the other thing is 100% of people who think about suicide aren't in the same position. Some of them, there's head trauma. Some of them, it's nutritional. And we've got to work on all of those things. And what's nice about this book is it says, what are your symptoms? And tells you which modalities will help.
Wow. Is
Yeah.
your book, where can people find your book and how do
This
they?
is not my book.
I see.
It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. The original edition came out in 1980, and I know they've had at least 7 editions since then.
And what's the title? Can you just shout it out?
The Relaxation and Stress Reduction Workbook.
Isn't
Okay.
that great? Yeah.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
this is a book that you highly recommend as a doctor, as a key tool.
When
Yeah.
when I was still in my training, I recommended it so often to the patients that they actually kept some at the facility to sell them to patients at cost.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing how you're sharing how you've survived, how you've literally survived the pain of
Correct.
life, and how you're sharing these tools and resources to help people. Because, when someone is feeling down, when they're going through that rough patch, it can really affect you physically to the point where you have so much physical pain from the mental pain. And so you're really helping people work through their pain.
Correct.
What would you say is the number one strategy that you utilize? Like if you were to give people one law of of the butterfly method, what would that be?
That where I'm integrating body, mind, and spirit simultaneously and very rapidly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, how did you meet Tony?
How did I meet Tony?
Hmm.
Um, Through another summit.
Amazing. So, Tony, when with your kindness summit, I know you have over 80 speakers, 45,000 in free gifts. And what were you looking for in speakers for this summit? And how does Dr. Kane's message connect to your mission?
Well, and I'm glad you asked that, Blanca, because a lot of what we've been through. So first of all, there's 8 categories of speakers that I was looking for, and Dr. Patricia spanned not only the health and wellness, but the personal development and spirituality as well. So she was a perfect key speaker for some of those things. And to tell you the truth, I'm very familiar with what's going on in terms of the suicide mentality. And our keynote speaker, who is actually a comedian, Frank King, who worked and wrote for the Tonight Show for 20 years, you guys have to hear him, but his entire talk is about suicide, and he focuses on men, and he was saying that 8 out of 10 people who commit suicide are male. And so this is why we wanted to dedicate a lot of this type of thinking on this version of the Week of Kindness and Gratitude. So it's very, very necessary. Thank you, Patty Stula. She's so cute. Anyway, it's very, very necessary, but more important than that, this is something that actually helps people. And Dr. Patricia has dedicated her life to helping people. And on a personal note, I'm the mother of a transgender child, and I have a lot of LGBTQ employees and contractors, and I love them dearly. But I can't tell you, my 30-year-old son, we have been through so many funerals. I mean, ever since high school, of
Hmm.
his friends, of his family, of people that they were chatting with at midnight, but didn't make it to 6 o'clock in the morning. And I can't tell you how many times, he's walked in and with the tears in his eyes, and he's like, I
Hmm.
was on with him last night, and he's killed himself overnight. This is not a laughing matter. This is very, very serious. And like I told Dr. Patricia, it's, even the pandemic has augmented the effects of the personal loss, the personal inability to get to a positive note, the inability to see the light for what it is. And so that's exactly where Patricia is. And I honor what you're doing, Dr. Patricia. Thank you so
The,
much.
the thing is, the reason why there's a number of males is more lethal ways of acting out, like guns and hanging and jumping off a bridge. Women tend to do things like take drugs more frequently or something like that, and they actually get to emergency rooms. It, but there are probably equal amount by sex who think about it.
Of course. And obviously there's also the suicide hotline if anyone is struggling, and there's a lot of resources.
Mhm.
Patricia Kane is going to be speaking directly on this topic, applying her butterfly method. And let me just say this is a speech that we all need to watch. It's because whether somebody looks perfect on the outside, no one is. We all need each other, and we need to open up the conversations about this, and follow Patricia Kane, because she's been through it herself. You've been through it yourself, and you're going to teach others how to change their mindset, how to shift their mindset, stay positive, and stay healthy. So I'm definitely registering for your speech right now. And so all you have to do, guys, is go to weekofkindness.com and select Patricia Kane's speech.
I have one thing else to say.
Okay.
Don't think of that a person has to be have something negative that they're thinking about it, because if you notice a change of any kind, ask them, because the one person I'm aware of always dressed in goth and then started wearing nice clothes and everything. And fortunately, she was asked, and she said, I wanted to wear my clothes one before I killed myself.
Oh, well, I think you're right. The lesson I get out of that is we have to check in with each other more. We have to be a better friend. And we have to have an emergency list of 3 or 4 good friends that we can call when we're down. And when you're feeling down, call that list. Go register for Dr. Patricia Kane's speech, because it's not only about you, it's about all of us. So I'm sure Dr. Kane will teach us how to help other people in our life. So God willing, you're feeling positive, but maybe someone next door to you isn't. So we need to learn these tools. And Toni, back to you for closing comments.
Well, thank you. And so I did have the pleasure of hearing Dr. Patricia's talk. So I do encourage you to go over. She is on the list of speakers. She is in spirituality. She's in health and wellness. She's in personal development. You can find her in a variety of places. And Patricia, I want to thank you so much for being part of the Week of Kindness and Gratitude. This is a special treat for us. Any words of wisdom that you want to leave us with today?
The fact that people need to know how generous you are, and that we all can live by the two words, be kind.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. A huge shout out to Toni. For those of you who don't know Toni, she is an award-winning producer. She's produced the Latin Grammys and the Texas Music Awards. She's also been a casting director for American Idol Objetivo Farman and Beleza, the America Top Model. So we're in very good hands. All the speakers are being coached by Toni Kaufman behind the scenes. They're part of her program. And you can be a speaker too by going to the link on the screen or scanning the QR code at the top, and stay connected and be a part of it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.